And then I started my radiation. You know, I don't know how they do it now, but then they brought me in a few days before radiation, and they told me to take my gown off and lay on this table. You're in a kind of a big room, and it's cold, and you're laying there with no clothes on. I think I had my underwear on, and and you're just laying there. And you know, they didn't really tell me what they were going to do and or what was happening, but they come over and they fit this thing on your head, and it's like a steel cage, and then they tattooed me. They tattooed all these spots, and that's probably why I'll never get a tattoo, because that hurt. But I was like, what is going on? And they said, we're going to tattoo you because we can't. Back then, radiation was, I'm sure, a lot harder than it is now. But you have to have markers where you know exactly where you're going to radiate, so you don't radiate the wrong thing. But I remember that was a really bad experience, laying there with this steel thing around your head, and you're naked, and there's people just, I don't know. I remember that being pretty bad. And then I would go in for radiation. I was so grateful that I wasn't sick, but it would tire you out to the point, oh my goodness. I drove myself to most radiations. It was about a 45-minute drive there. It took a few minutes and then a 45-minute drive home. By the end of it, I probably should not have been driving myself. I didn't want to put anybody out. All my friends had little kids, and you know, I don't know. I've always been one that hates to bother anybody, and I wouldn't ask for help. But by probably last week, I should not have been driving myself. I was so tired, and the burns were so bad. When Alec wasn't at home or there was nobody home, I would just walk around with no shirt on, and I would put these gel packs on. The burns were bad. I think that things are better now. I sure hope they are. Um, but that gets us through radiation, and I did have to have a complete hysterectomy because I was ERPR positive. One of my tumors was ERPR positive. So a couple of months later, I had a complete hysterectomy, and honestly, I then we did my scans, and there was no cancer. And they told me every 3 months I would come in and do scans, and then I would wait for the results. And I will go into that in the next part. So make good choices in your life. Hope y'all are having a great day. Bye.